So as we speak, the biggest names in weightlifting are flying from all over the world to Norway to compete at the 2025 World Weightlifting Championships. And in this video, we're going to take a look at who are the biggest names competing, what sort of shape do we think they're in, and we're going to take a look at, having polled some of you, who you're most excited to see. So make sure you stick around to the end of the video to find out who are the most popular athletes according to all of you. So with the weight categories having changed and the world records wiped clean, we have some returning battles, some fresh battles, some bigger, larger, more muscular athletes competing. It's going to be absolutely incredible. Let's take a look at who we've got. Oh, and don't forget, make sure you go and get your ticket now. Tickets are selling fast at weightliftinghouse.tv. The competition 2nd to 11th of October, only at Weightlifting House TV. We'll put a link to that down below. Okay, so obviously we can't talk about every single athlete here, and even some of the greatest athletes we can't talk about because we just ran out of time, but we have picked some of our favourites, some of your favourite athletes to talk about and what we think they're going to do at this World Championships. We'll start off lightest to heavyweights on the men's side and then move over to the women's side. From the USA, Hampton Morris, world record holder in the old 61 kilo category. He's actually moving up now to the 65 kilo weight class, and he's already set a world record there at the Pan American Championships just a few months ago. He hit 181. He also recently competed within the USA at a national competition. He snatched 140 for a personal record and he clean and jerked 183. I think technically he was a 71. He weighed in heavy, I don't know how much by, probably not by more than a couple of kilos, so we can assume he was probably around 67 kilos when he did that. And I'm excited to see him. I think he could genuinely become, for the first time in his career, senior world champion here. He's going to have to go up against, we've got Park Myung-jin from North Korea, and they've battled it out a few times before at 61. Similar-ish numbers. Hampton is a stronger clean and jerker, Park probably a little bit stronger in the snatch. We've also got an exciting battle between Hampton and Muhammed Ozbek from Turkey. What's exciting about this is they're just two athletes who we'd never normally see together. You know, Hampton was a 61 and Ozbek was a 73. Two weight categories apart. Hampton's come up to 65, Ozbek has cut all the way down to 65 from 73. So that's going to be fun. And then, you know, there are some other people he's going to have to beat, like the returning Francisco Mosquera. He's a two-time world champion. Erwin, a four-time Olympic medalist. A lot of competition, but I think this is the year for Hampton. Moving up two categories now, we have one of the most exciting weightlifters of the last few years, Rahmat and Abdullah from Indonesia. So obviously since his downfall really at the end of the last Olympic quad where he missed that 206 kilo clean and jerk twice, a moment that basically, you know, shocked the weightlifting world and sort of became what you think about when you think about that last quad. You picture that moment where he's standing there with the 206. But he's now back. He obviously took a little bit of time off. He returned to the Asian Championships a few months ago and he hit that 205 kilo clean and jerk. We've been talking with him. He's described himself now as unchained, and he's going to be competing now in the new heavier 79 kilo class. And I think we can expect big things. You know, as a 73, he made up to 205 kilos, which is massive. Single-handedly moved that world record up from 198. And then he competed once or twice actually as a 81 kilo weightlifter, but weighing around 77. He hit 209 kilos for a world record in the clean and jerk, which put him above, you know, Karlos Nasar's world record. He even cleaned 214 kilos when he was going up against Ri Chong Song in Qatar 2023. So now he's a fully fledged 79. He's going to be even bigger than that. So realistically, what can we see from him in the clean and jerk? I mean, we can certainly expect him to be capable of going over 210 kilos. Whether or not he does, I don't know. But I think he probably has the highest limit of anybody in this weight category, at least in the clean and jerk. Snatch maybe not so much, but he's capable of multiple world records in the clean and jerk here. Somebody else who obviously we've got to mention, another big name in this category, you can't mention Rahmat without Rizki. He's already competed in this new 79 kilo weight category at a national competition. He snatched 162 on his second attempt. He didn't even take a third attempt, and then he hit 205. So those two lifts, he's already at unofficial world records in the total and the clean and jerk. He's looking stunning, to be honest. So that battle between him and Rahmat once again being reignited for the first time since Thailand, since, you know, that monumental moment is very exciting. And then they're going to have to go up against Abdo from Egypt, who's looking ridiculous, and Ri Chong Song, who is just like this militant beast soldier from North Korea, who has attempted 210 many times, you know, the reigning world champion. So those two, big names. Okay, of course there are a bunch of 88s. I'm not going to go into detail with them because there are too many, but just a reminder, we've got world record holder in the snatch, Jason Lopez, we've got Kedemar Vayania, we've got Marin Robu, Rokwang Riol, lots of great athletes, but let's just go up to the 94s. You can't miss out on watching Karlos Nasar. I mean, he's a human highlight reel. He is the face of the sport right now. He's the guy who's selling tickets. He's the guy who's getting everybody to tune in to watch weightlifting right now. We've almost never seen, at least for a long time, an athlete go on quite as impressive a run as Karlos Nasar. He did the 188, 229 in Moldova. He's probably capable of 190, 230 here. I spoke to him recently. He said that he's now out in Belmeccan. He did a training camp previously. He's on his second training camp now in Belmeccan, which is where we flew out last year in Bulgaria to be with him when he did his training camp before winning the World Championships. So his head is down. He is focused, you know, solidly on this competition. He even asked me, what do I need to win in this category? So he's clearly he's clearly thinking about his competition. We said to him that if he did something like 180, 225, that's probably going to be enough for a gold medal. I might have even given him slightly higher numbers than that just to be sure. But I mean, realistically, he's going to be hitting these sorts of numbers on his second attempt, and then he'll be taking further world records on his third attempt. So you do not want to miss out on Karlos, but a lot of good athletes going to up against him. You know, we've got Kinush Rustami, Olympic champion, Miso Esona, Olympic champion. Karim from Egypt, I think, is a huge underdog here. So yeah, very exciting to see Karlos in that 94 class. Another athlete to mention, and it's very difficult to pick between all of the incredible 110s, especially because so many of you are excited to see guys like Uncle Russ, and that's Ruslan Nuruddinov. And of course, athletes like Colby Ferguson from the USA, but it has to be Akbar Djuraev. You know, I mean, he became Olympic champion back in 2021 in Tokyo. I first sort of became aware of him in 2019. He then had that amazing competition against Ruslan and Simone back in 2021. And we're basically getting a repeat of that, except that now I think he's the leader. He's the one in the best shape. He jerked 252 out the rack. We've almost never seen an athlete of his body weight do that. I mean, 252 kilos. It's 11 kilos over the clean and jerk world record of that 109 kilo category. Now they're 110s, of course. He snatched 204 kilos. And I mean, that's like what we would have seen someone like Andrei Romnau do back in 2008. You know, we've seen Akayev do 210. You know, that's one of the greatest training snatches of all time. But I think he was weighing about 114 when he did that. Akbar's probably weighing about 114 as well right now, to be fair. But 204 and then 235 in the clean and jerk. I think he's going to potentially demolish everybody. But with Simon Martirosyan, who wants world records, with Ruslan, who wants world records, it's going to be fun. But yeah, it's got to be Akbar that we talk about in this video. And then before we move on to the women, it's hard to pick between them, but if we just go up to the super heavyweight class, in fact, we're not going to pick between them, we're just going to highlight them both. Gorman-Asian versus Razdat Lalayan. You know, they used to be teammates, both for Armenia. Now, of course, Gor competes for Bahrain. Lalayan, he's the reigning world champion, but Gor has got the second heaviest snatch in history behind Lasha Talakadze at 217 kilos. Lalayan's made 215 kilos 3 times. He's the joint 5th heaviest snatcher of all time. So those guys, their battle will be insane. And then you can't obviously forget the two Iranians, Ali Davoudi and Ayat Sharafiki. I mean, they both just competed nationally. Ali Davoudi, 205, 256, a 461 kilo total, only 1 kilo above Ayat, 206, 254, so a 460 total. So those guys, the battle there, I mean, probably bronze, but also it's going to be huge. Okay, over to the women's side, we have the #1 weightlifter by Sinclair, Ri Song Gum, formerly a 49 kilo weightlifter. She's cut down to 48, so it's just a 1 kilo drop. I think it's very probable that that's not going to be an Olympic category and that at some point she's going to have to move up to 53. But for now, that 1 kilo cut is not a problem for her. She was already basically the shortest 49 in the world, as I've cutting down to 48 is not really an issue. I think probably she should have a relatively easy time of it, but there are these two Chinese weightlifters who we don't really know, one of whom we've been told is going to be putting up quite a good battle against Ri Song-gum, but I'm not sure. But just the return of Ri Song-gum is always fun. You know, she's almost snatched 2 times body weight. She made 97 kilos as a 49, so she was 1 kilo off. And then she did over 2.5 times body weight in the clean and jerk, which is something I think only 1 or 2 other weightlifters have ever done. So she's in an elite group. So now at 48, can she do a 2 times body weight snatch? Yes. Can she go 2.5 times body weight clean and jerk again? Yes as well. Moving up to the 53s, Mihaela Cambei, super popular weightlifter, incredible athlete. Of course, at the Paris Olympic Games, she took the silver medal. She had basically the performance of her life. She almost won. She went 6 for 6, 93 in the snatch, 112 in the clean and jerk, all new personal records, pushed Hu Jihui to hit that massive clean and jerk gold. But since then, you know, she didn't come to the World Championship. She went to the European Champs. She looked a little bit rough, a little bit shaky. Definitely caused a few people to get nervous. She won, you know, there wasn't a whole lot of competition, but it was not a great day for her. Since then, though, her training's been going really well. She's moved up to this heavier 53 kilo class, which I think is probably perfect for her. So seeing her come back will be a lot of fun. She's also never medaled actually in the total at the World Championships. She's medaled in the snatch, but never the total. So I think that's definitely possible for her at this Worlds. Up in the 58 kilo category, Kuo Hsing-chun, Olympic champion, 5 times world champion, arguably the most recognizable face in women's weightlifting in the world right now. She returned to competition recently at the Asian Championships with the squat jerk. A lot of people were interested in why she'd switched to squat jerk. We don't actually have a good answer for you. We've spoken about it at length on the podcast before, but she also had those brutal calls on the press out, which caused a lot of controversy because for an athlete of her sort of caliber, you know, she's held so many world records, 110 snatch, 141 clean and jerk. People were very upset with the jury, but she's back, she's competing at 58 kilos. And while it's unlikely that she's going to win, you know, we've got the North Korean Kim Il-gyong in that session, who's almost certainly going to take the gold. There'll be a good battle because we've got Aniela Venegas from Venezuela, Miranda Elray from Team USA. So that battle for silver, bronze is going to be very exciting and possibly another medal, world medal for Kuo Hsing-chun. Okay, at 63, Ri Suk, probably the most unbeatable weightlifter in the world right now. Certainly I'd say on the women's side, but maybe across any category. I mean, as a 64, she was just terrifyingly good. She snatched 115, clean jerk 149. She's competed 8 times internationally. She's won 6, she's taken silver twice. And in her class, I just don't know if there's anybody who's even gonna come remotely close to her. There are some great other weightlifters. You know, you've got Maud Charon, 2-time Olympic medalist, Olympic champion. You've got Catherine Estep and Sophia Schaft from Team USA. There's going to be a great battle there. But Ri Suk is just such a beast. I mean, her abilities in the snatch, but particularly in the clean and jerk, 149 at 64. She's now 63. It's a perfect category for her. Whether or not it remains an Olympic category, we don't know. I think it will. I think it's probably going to be 53 and 63. And then 77, but we're going to have to wait and find out. But I think she's going to be an absolute dominant force in this category for many years to come now. Moving up to the 77s, everybody's favorite, you know, the most popular currently female weightlifter, Olivia Reeves. She is bumping up from the 69 kilo category where she just set world records, 119, 149 at the Pan American Champs. Her best ever lifts, this is in international competition. She did 120 in the snatch at the last World Championships, and then 150 in the clean and jerk back in Thailand when she defeated North Korea and China. But now she's moved up to the 77s. She's even stronger. She's recently posted videos, you know, 123, 155. Those are unofficial world record levels. She's capable of ridiculous weights. I mean, if someone said that she's going to do 125, 157, I would not be surprised in terms of, I wouldn't be shocked that she was able to make those lifts. It's more whether she's going to even need to. I mean, she might now be playing a game entirely of her own where she just starts breaking world records by a kilo every competition and taking the bonus that the you know, USA Olympic Committee hands out to Olympic athletes who set world records at Olympic sports. So we might see that from her, I don't know, but she's got some big people to go up against, obviously. Sarah Ahmed from Egypt, Matty Rogers from the USA, but realistically, it is definitely the Olivia Reeves show at this World Championships. Okay, and then finally we have Solfrid Koanda from Norway, the 86 kilo Olympic champion. Well, she was actually Olympic champ at 81, but she'll be 86 here. I mean, she's basically the face of this competition in some ways, just because it is a home World Championships. You know, Norway would not be hosting this World Champs. They would not have bid for the rights to host this competition if it wasn't for her. Clearly the federation, the country, is putting a lot into building up her profile as a way of asserting some level of dominance globally in sport. They've got this incredible Olympic champion and they're bringing a World Championships to them. I don't think there's really anybody who's going to be able to beat her. There's certainly nobody in this session who she hasn't already beaten multiple times. Her best lifts, as a reminder, 123 in the snatch, 160 clean and jerk, which is colossal. The new world records in this category, the standard at the moment, are 129, 162. 129 is too big. She's going to have to surpass these numbers. She's not going to be snatching 130, but she could set her first world record of her career in the clean and jerk. If she has a great day and she wants to go for 163, I definitely think that that's possible. Okay, and finally, let's take a quick look at who you are most excited to see. Now, this is a poll that I ran on my personal Instagram account, so just bear in mind that this is hardly representative of the general weightlifting fandom. I mean, if you follow me, you're probably much more in that inner concentric circle of weightlifting. And yet, it's kind of interesting. I think maybe the responses might have been slightly different if it was to a more general audience, but let's just wait and see. So I polled everybody who they're most excited to see on the men's side and then on the women's side. We'll start on the women's side, and I'd love to know if any of you get the predictions right. The athlete, the third most, or the athlete who came number 3 is Mihaela Cambei. Number 2 most exciting athlete on women's weightlifting is Solfrid Koanda, and then it's no surprise really, is it, that the number 1, the athlete who's making most people excited for this World Champs, is Olivia Reeves. On the men's side, things were a little bit tighter, so I've actually had to go a little bit further down. In joint 5th, we had exactly the same number of votes here. It's Abdo from Egypt with Kinush Rustami, which I thought was stunning. Just the fact that Abdo is unknown, basically. He's not competed as a senior, and already he's, you know, joint 5th, most highly anticipated weightlifter to watch at this World Champs. And then the return of Kinush is just awesome. In number 4, again, potentially surprising, and bear in mind, this was done before the documentary came out. Number 4 is Colby Ferguson from Team USA. And then we had another joint, 2nd place, exactly the same number of votes. Rahmat and Abdullah, I'm not surprised, and Akbar Djuraev. And again, that poll was done before Akbar did the 204. So he might even be beating Rahmat if we reran this, which is amazing. And then number 1, I don't think anybody is going to be at all surprised. It's the one and only. It's Karlos Nasar. That's it. Those are the athletes who I think are probably the biggest names competing at this World Championships. You do not want to miss it. A clean slate of world records, new weight categories, a new era for weightlifting. You can watch it at Weightlifting House TV. The link is down below. We'll see you there.